Hi, everyone. Welcome to lesson 32 of Wit and Wisdom. Today is Thursday, April 16th of 2020. So if you look on the calendar and you see that it is Thursday, April 16th of 2020, then you know you're in the right place. Today, we are going to continue exploring the essential question, how do stories help us understand immigrants' experiences? And I am so excited to get started. Our goals for today, could you please read them for us, David? I think I hear him. Do you guys hear him? If I focus my attention and show resilience when things get hard, but at the end of this lesson, I will be able to plan a written response to a narrative prompt. Ooh, nice reading, David. Looking good, Taylor. I see your focus. I see your smile over there, Daisy. All right, so if you guys are planning a written response to a narrative prompt, what does that mean exactly? Does that mean you're like flat out writing today? You're planning. So you're planning. Good writers plan first. Good writers what first? Yes, I heard you, Kimayan. Good writers plan first. So you're going to go through the planning process today. If after you're done planning, you feel like starting your draft, go for it. That's all you. But today I'm expecting a planned response. Just your plan today. Got it? Got it, Maritza? Got it, Hanya? Okay. All right. Could you please read the essential question for us, Josiah? How do stories help us understand immigrants' experiences? Good one, Josiah. Derek, could you read the focusing question for us, please? How do immigrants respond to challenges in a new country? Yes, you got it. Thank you, Derek. And Brianna, please read the craft question. Oh, sorry. Just wait for this to go away. Because honestly, Miss Bridges doesn't know how to make it go away. Okay, Brianna, your turn. Maybe. Okay, every time I move the cursor, it comes back. I'm sorry, Brianna. This is hard. 3. Okay, go ahead. Execute. How do I plan a narrative? Nice reading, Brianna, and good question. That's what we're going to explore today. Oh, I did not want to make my face bigger. Oh boy, this is a problem. Somebody help me. Okay, I can see. Okay. Oh, that was really scary. I didn't want my big face taking up the entire slide. Phew. Okay, Jaden and Hade, you're over there laughing. I know, I appreciate it. I am having some troubles here. Okay, so today for this lesson, you guys are actually going to need a pencil and you're going to need something to write on. I suggest having like a notebook to keep all your wit and wisdom notes in. But if you don't have that, just find a piece of paper. If you need to pause the video right now to go find a pencil and a piece of paper, well, let's be honest, you're at home. So if you want to write with a pen, you go for it. So find something to write with, find a piece of paper of some sort, pause the video if you need to, and then come back. All right, at this point, you have something to write with and you have a piece of paper. We are going to talk about Assessment 32A, our focusing question task 3. So this is indeed an assessment. It's a writing assessment. This is your third and final focusing question task of Module 3. After this, in a couple lessons, you'll be doing your end of module writing assignment. But this is the second to last writing assignment in Module 3 before we get rolling with Module 4, which I'm already excited about. Right here, you can always come back to this slide if you need to. The task is write a short narrative about when Patricia's mother first tells her about how the keeping quilt is important to their family and a reminder of their traditions. So your job is to write a short narrative. So a short what? Yes, Taivante. Another word for narrative is story. Your job is to write a short story about when Patricia's mother in the keeping quilt first tells her about how the keeping quilt is important to their family and a reminder of their traditions. If you guys need to find evidence or remind yourselves of the story The Keeping Quilt by Patricia Polacco, you know where to find it. It's in your Wit and Wisdom classroom, and it's under the announcements. I videotaped a read aloud of the Keeping Quilt. So if you need a reminder or you need to find evidence from it, that's where you go. The checklist for success. In your response, be sure to, when I say your name, please read it. Kamaris, establish the situation, including the time and place. Ding, ding, ding. Jocelyn, introduce the narrator and or characters. Ding, ding, ding. You got it. Tyvante, organize events in a natural order. Ding, ding, ding. You got it. Let's do Leilani. Use details about immigration and finding a new home to create a realistic fictional narrative. Ding, ding, ding. You got it. I just read Maritza's yesterday, and she did that in hers. This time, though, it has to be about when Patricia's mother first tells her about how the Keeping Quilt is important to their family and a reminder of their traditions. I believe in all of you. Okay, let's see. Can you please read this one for us, Hade? Provide a sense of closure. Yes, girl. Francisco, read this one, please. Use time, words, and phrases to tell the reader when events happen. Good job. And you even put the S on the word events because you knew the S was covered up, and that just makes sense to say events in that sentence. Good job, Francisco. Tavy, can you read this one for us, please? Use dialogue and description to develop events and characters. Yes, please. 3 lessons ago on Monday, we talked all about using dialogue. So if you're like, what's dialogue? I'm not sure. Just go back to Monday and watch that lesson, and you'll be reminded what dialogue is. My hat's so silly. Sorry, you guys, that I'm wearing hats all the time for you. It's just that I don't have time to brush my hair. I'm working so hard. Okay. Matthew, could you please read this one for us? Use commas and quotation marks in dialogue correctly. Yes. And you know who's going to do that right? Ritika, because we worked on it in her check-in today. So excited to see it. Use capital letters to begin dialogue. Oh, she's also going to get that one right. So is Abraham. So is Kimayan, because they know that it goes comma, space, quotes, capital letter. Comma, space, quotes, capital letter. It's like this. Matthew said, comma, space, quotes, capital letter. It's like this. Abraham exclaimed, comma, space, quotes, capital letter. Just like that. Okay. Ensure subject verb agreement. And then the last one, could you please read it for us, Michael? Form and use possessives correctly. Yes, please. Thank you so much for reading that. So if ever you need to come back to this slide to remind yourself of the prompt or to remind yourself of the checklist for success, please do come back to it. Actually, something I might do, if I were a student, I might take a picture of it so that when I'm planning my writing, if I'm like, wait a minute, what's the prompt again? Oh yeah, write a short narrative about when Patricia's mother first tells her about how the Keeping Quilt is important to their family and a reminder of their traditions. Now, if I can't remember the story, where do I go again, Tyvante? Yeah. Okay, Tyvante said you go to your Wit and Wisdom classroom, and it's in the announcements section underneath Stream. I have a read aloud of it for you. I gotta fix this hat. It's a little bit complicated. Sorry, guys. Okay. Next. Now, you guys might remember this from other lessons, but just a reminder, writing needs to be appropriate for the purpose, the audience, and the task. All good writers make sure that their writing is appropriate for the purpose, the audience, and the task or the topic. Okay, so I need you guys with the pencil and paper that you just got and brought to your spot. I need you to make this chart in your journal. If I were you, I would pause the video right now to make sure you make this chart. It should be 2 columns, just like mine, and then play again once you're done. So pause. All right, welcome back. You guys if you're back with me, it means that you just made this chart on your paper or in your notebook with pen or with pencil. Your choice. Now I get to ask you the question. What form is your writing going to be? In other words, what type of writing do you have to do? I'll give you 5. Ooh, I heard Dagam and David say it at the exact same time. You guys are doing a narrative. So if you didn't already, please write that down in the format column. You're writing a narrative. It's not an essay. It's not explanatory. It's not opinion. It's a narrative, aka story. Good job. All right. Now, who is the audience going to be? Who is the audience going to be? Think. Ooh, I heard Jasleen and Josiah say it at the exact same time. The audience is going to be your teacher and your classmates, especially if yours is good enough for me to show in this platform. Exciting. Okay, next one. What is the topic of the narrative? What is the topic of the narrative? You might need to pause and go back and read this again. Write a short narrative. Okay, that's the format. We already have that written down about when, Patricia's mother first tells her about how the keeping quilt is important to their family and a reminder of their traditions. What is the topic of the narrative? What is the topic? Ooh, I heard Leilani and Hanya say it at the same time. The topic is when Patricia's mother told her about the keeping quilt. Good job. The topic is when Patricia's mother told her about the keeping quilt. If you need to pause it to write that down, you go for it. Last question. What's the purpose of the narrative? What's the purpose? This one's kind of hard. Well, I see how they thinking. I see Maritza thinking. I see Kamara's thinking. Tavi's over there going, what's the purpose? You are correct, Octavius. The purpose is to describe an experience. So please write that down. Good job, Wit and Wisdom students. Now, I just realized if you didn't take a picture of it, or if you did and you still would like it all to be in one spot, you could go back to this slide. You could rewind the video a little bit, and you could actually write down this part right here, right above it, to make sure that you are clear on the prompt before you start your planning, and you are clear on the format, audience, purpose, and topic because you just wrote it down and listened so carefully to the video and watched Miss Burgess try to fix her hat. Okay. And now that you're all there, I want to talk a little bit about exploding the moment narrative. Where should I put my face? I'll put it right up there. So you guys, you have written exploded narratives before, exploded moment narratives. All that means is that you're taking a tiny moment and making it really big. It makes it very interesting for the reader to read. If you want to know who's really good at this and you didn't watch yesterday's lesson, then watch yesterday's lesson from April 15th. Kingston's narrative is a great example of an exploded moment narrative. Every single moment is kind of blown up into a bigger moment. And let me explain what I mean by that. If you truly want to be an author who explodes the moment and makes your writing really interesting, you want to make sure that you are writing about what the character feels and what the character thinks. Do you see how I picked visuals to just match these things that you want to write about? That's what good writers do. They write about what the character feels, what the character thinks, what the characters might say to each other. Maybe even if there's only 2 characters. Maybe it's just one character and you're writing down what the character's thinking to themselves. Maybe it's 2, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 4, maybe it's 5. You want to be adding that dialogue in. What are the characters saying to each other? You also want to think about your 5 senses. What do the characters see? Yes. What do the characters hear? Yes. Good, Leilani. What do the characters feel or touch? Good, Daisy. What do the characters taste? Good, Derek. And what do the characters smell? Good, Jaden. Exactly. So you can always take a picture of this slide or go back to it to remind yourself when you're planning, wait a minute, in this moment, what might the character be feeling, thinking, saying? What might the character be seeing, hearing, touching, tasting, or smelling? Those are all things that good writers think about when they're trying to explode the moment and make their story as interesting as Kingston's. And by the way, Kingston, if you're out there, I had a lot of check-ins with students today, and they all were impressed by your story. One person even said, wow, that was so good. It was like a real live novel, like a short story novel. A novella, I guess is what it's called. I'm not sure. But anyway, Kingston, excellent work. Great example. You guys listen to the video from yesterday again if you don't know what I'm talking about. Your criteria for success for this essay is to 1, establish the situation. 2, introduce the main character. 3, describe the setting. 4, identify the events in the story. I'm sorry. And 5, provide a sense of closure. Now, I want you to think in your head, which one of these do you think is going to be easiest for you? Which one of these do you think is going to be easiest for you? I'll give you and say it out loud. I hear you, Tyvante. You feel like describing the setting is going to be easiest. I think that's what you said, right? I might be hard of hearing when I'm so far away in my house, but I hope I heard you right. Okay, now I have another question for you guys. Which of these is going to be hardest or most difficult for you? Which one are you going to have to spend extra time and thought on? I think I heard multiple kids say that providing a sense of closure might be the hardest. That makes sense because you just learned about that in your lesson on Tuesday. If you forget how to do that, go back to the lesson from April 14th. That's the day when we talked about providing a sense of closure, and we even gave an example from Patricia Polacca. Now, soon, I want you guys to start your independent writing time. During independent writing time, I expect you to independently complete your writing planners, and I'll show what that looks like on the next slide. After that, or while you're doing that, I want you to use the information that you learned from this lesson to help you plan an exploded moment narrative. So remember, that means that as a writer, you're thinking, what does the character feel, think, see, hear, touch, taste, smell? Okay? Ooh, that was kind of fun. It was like all of that. And now let me read what I'm supposed to do. The teacher is supposed to anxiously wait for students to finish their amazing plans. Noted. I will be just here waiting. I'll be checking Google Classroom all day. I'll be so excited. What else am I supposed to do? Check in with students who come to office hours tomorrow. Yes, I'm excited for that. I'm going to show you how to get to my office hours tomorrow if you need it in just a second. Okay? First, I want to show you the writing planner. So I know Tyvante and Derek and how they are super impressed, but I figured out how to put this into your Google Classroom so that you can actually type directly into the document. I wrote up here, you can type in the boxes below. If you don't have enough space, type in a separate document or write by hand on a sheet of paper. Save your work for drafting tomorrow. So that's the most important part. You guys, I'm not there to keep your writing planners in my classroom. So I'm really trusting you to fill this out and then to put it in a place where you can actually access it tomorrow when you're actually going to start drafting. This is the part of planning Tomorrow, the next day, you'll start drafting. So please make sure that you can find this. If you do it on a different document, title it and save it in a place where you can find it. If you do it on a piece of paper, put it somewhere where you can find it. If you do it directly on this and turn it in, great. You'll be able to find it. I might need to send it back to you. No problem. I can do that. I just need to make sure that you have your writing planner so that it's ready to use for your draft the next day. Got it? Got it, Dagam? Kimayan? Taivante? Michael? Okay, you got it. And by the way, when you're planning this is the absolute perfect time to be reminding yourself, what is the task? What is the purpose? Who's the audience? What's the format? You have to remember those things. And you also have to, you don't have to remember because it's right down on your notes. You also have to use whatever you did to remember the prompt. Because if you plan out things and it doesn't have to do with the prompt, then you're going to be a little bit off track. So remember, the prompt is to write a short narrative about when Patricia's mother first tells her about how the keeping quilt is important to their family and a reminder of their traditions. And if you don't remember that part of the story, where do you look again, Maritza? You are correct. Wit and Wisdom Classroom, stream, announcements, video of Miss Burgess reading The Keeping Quilt. I did that for you. Now, I had a couple more things to show you before we check in on goals. Hold up. So one of the things I mentioned was office hours. When you are all done with this writing planner, another thing that's going to be in your Wit and Wisdom lesson and assignment today is this thing. It's called the April 16th Readiness Quiz. Ooh, I need to go in and edit it and make sure I put your name in there. So I'll fix that. But this is going to be super easy. You're literally going to write your name once I fix that. And then you're going to answer this question. Are you ready to begin writing your narrative tomorrow? You either go, yes, I feel ready to get started. Or you go, almost. I have a quick question for you. Or you go, no, I feel very confused and need a lot of help before I get started. If that's you, then you'll get, no matter what answer you choose, you're going to get a point. Easy. But it gives you some directions here. So if you say you're almost ready or you're not quite ready, it says right here, okay, if you're ready to get started, yay, off you go, start whenever you want, good for you. If you're almost ready, but you just have a quick question before you start, please join me here. And I actually put the link right in it. So you might want to copy and paste it and put it in your calendar for April 17th, anytime from 9 to 9:30 a.m. That's for people who are almost ready, but they just have quick questions. You just pop in, ask your question, pop out. If you feel like you need a lot of help before you get started, please join me here. It's a different chat room. And you'll have to copy and paste it, or I'm going to show you a different way to get it. And that's also tomorrow. I wrote anything. I have to fix that. Any time from 9:30 to 10. So that'll be a little bit more intensive where we'll really talk about your plans and make sure you're ready to go. Okay, little angels? Okay. Abraham, Matthew, Daisy, you ready? Yeah. Okay. So this is another place where you can get my office hours, you guys. If you go into your Wit and Wisdom classroom, let's pretend, just for the sake of today, that I am in Michael's class in Regis. You would go to classwork in your Regis Wit and Wisdom one. And here at the top, you see office hours. You would click on Burgess office hours, and then there's a Google Calendar. Let's say that you feel like you're almost ready to write your narrative. Then you click on the 9 a.m. I'm almost ready to write my narrative. You click more details. Move my face. And then it's actually up here. Right here, you scroll over, I'm almost ready to write. And then, okay, Ms. Burgess made a mistake and didn't put the Google Hangouts there. I really don't know why that happened. Let me see. Okay, Ms. Burgess needs to fix that. This is the I'm not yet ready to start my writing yet and I need help, let me show you how you get the Google Hangout because they'll be in there by the time you try it. I'm so sorry. That's weird. This is also important for all of you Wit and Wisdom fans and all of you Wit and Wisdom workers. Look, I have office hours every day from 10 to 10:30, and I think you already know that. But anyone is welcome to come to office hours. They're from 10 to 10:30 every day except Fridays. And all you do is you get there the same way you just got to these two. You click on it and then you go join Hangouts Meet. And anyone who needs help with Wit and Wisdom or wants to talk about their writing or share their writing or anything can come to this group. You just go join now. Wow, I really look like a mess, don't I? Sorry, you guys. I'll try to do a little bit better since I'm on camera, but it's hard. So no one's in here right now because it's not 10 to 10:30, but that's how you get to my office hours. Okay, little honeys? Okay, so that is your office hours. Now you know how to do that if you answer either of these questions. There's multiple ways to get into my office hours. Ta-da, ta-da, ta-da. Now, where were we? When you are done doing your writing planner, of course, you should check in on your goals. Oh, that's why. That's not supposed to be there. Ignore that one for now. Because I want to do a really quick deep dive for you. There's one other assignment. I want you to review and practice vocabulary words from the assessed vocabulary list. That's also in your assignment today. And it looks like this. It used to, back in the day when we were in the classroom, it used to just be blank boxes where you could write or draw. But now I did the thing where you can type into each box. So your job is to study the definitions and draw a picture or write a sentence using the word to help you remember what each word means. Then it says glue this paper into your vocabulary journal. That's not real because they're in our classroom. So you can just use this for your reference. Maybe write it down in a separate spot. But the word liberty, definition, freedom. I want you to write a sentence with that in it. Word, immigrant, and the N means noun. Both of these are nouns. Definition, person who permanently moves to a country where he or she was born. Write a sentence. Astonished, it's a verb. That means it's an action. What does it mean? The definition, surprised. Bewildered, it's a verb. What does it mean? Confused. Homesick, it's an adjective. That means it's a describing word. What does it mean? Longing for one's home. Longing, it's a noun. What does it mean? It's a desire for something. It's a desire, and then it put in parentheses for something. Next one, shackles. It's a noun. That means it's a person, place, or thing. What does it mean? Metal bands used for binding the wrists or ankles of a prisoner or animal. And last, torches, also a noun, person, place, or thing. Definition, fire carried on sticks or poles as portable lights. So your job is to use all those words in a sentence. Use the definition to help you make the sentence make sense. And you can type it right into the box. Now, my question for you before you guys leave, oh, silly me. I haven't been presenting this whole time. Taylor's over there giggling at me. Yeah. I'm trying, you guys. Okay. My question for you before I let you guys go work is, and I already see Hade, Francisco, and Jocelyn, and Leilani leaning closer and closer, like, what's the last thing? My question for you is, what are some strategies that you find effective when you're trying to study vocabulary words and memorize the definitions? What are some things that you do? Think. Matthew's over there going like this. David's like, oh, use flashcards. Yeah, absolutely. Write some flashcards. Write the word on the front of a card, definition on the back, and see if you can remember what it means. What's another one? Derek. Exactly. Do the work that we're doing today. Use the new words and sentences. And then some people actually group words by meaning when they learn them, which is totally fine too. That's when we use that special fancy diagram in class. So now that you guys have all your assignments, let's check in on your goals. Did you focus your attention and show resilience when things get hard? In order to plan a written response to a narrative prompt? So my question is there, Let's think of all the things we were supposed to do. You watched the video. Check. You planned your writing. Check. You took the quiz so that I know what kind of help you need the next day, and you noted how to get to office hours if you need to. Check. And then you also filled out the sentences for your vocabulary quiz and maybe even went further and made flashcards. Check. If you did all those things and you truly wrote a written response to a narrative prompt, you didn't write it, you planned it. Please give yourselves a pat, pat, pat on the back for a job well done. And seek. Good job, Hanya. Good job, Maritza. I can see you and I can hear you. So don't forget, Brianna, don't forget, Jaden, that your job is also to read when you're done with all of this. Your job is to read, baby, read. Actually, yesterday I asked Amori from Columbia, how much are you supposed to be reading? And he said 30 minutes, just like that, 30 minutes. And I loved that because I know that the daily reading thing says 20 to 30 minutes, but 30 minutes should be in your head, the minimum. Minimum means that you can read way more than that if your heart and soul desires. Absolutely. Remember, the more you read, the more power you have. Definitely fill out your daily reading and fluency log, and then take an AI quiz if you finish a book, because that's what really makes you a reading champion. So that's all I have for you guys today. Now you can go off and plan your writing. Write those sentences for your vocabulary words. Oh, I wonder if any of you will use the vocabulary words in your writing. Wouldn't that be interesting? All right, go forth and conquer your writing planner. I'm so excited to see what you plan. Looking good, Kamaris. I see you sitting there excited. You are quite the writer, little man. All right. Bye, everyone. Love you. Oh, Leilani, you're so excited. Bye. See you tomorrow. And I'm still here. I guess it's just a trick. I'm supposed to be able to go Shift-Alt-R, and it just turns it off. But apparently that's not happening. I see Eli over there giggling at me. Okay, Eli, I don't mind. I like your laugh. Okay, bye.